Hi, this is Olive. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is vlog 3 of my series of psychic episodes that I'm creating, like a vlog. So this particular topic is going to be about psychic and targeted individuals. There's a lot of content going around the internet of targeted individuals, and there's even educational stuff that you could find online about people experiencing targetings and things like that. So what is a targeted individual? If you search online what is a targeted individual, you're going to find that there's a lot of groups that claim they're being targeted by psychotronic weapons, and these are like covert government energies that are targeting and harming people. And these are the claims that these people are making. Now, why are they making these claims? Who knows? There's other article that kind of refute everything that these people are claiming that they're experiencing. So there's a group and there's a forum and there's a support groups for targeted individuals, but there's written articles from the New York Times that has stated that it's an unhealthy thing that the internet is spreading, that it's kind of promoting mass psychosis and paranoia and schizophrenia. So I want to put my 2 cents in as a psychic and also as a targeted individual, what they are and what they are really meant to inflict. When I started vlogging, I started mentioning things like targeted individual, which then got me a few people reaching out, explaining to me that they were going through something very serious. One girl even reached out for energetic healing because I'm a Reiki practitioner. And I hope she's okay, because her targeting got so bad that she pretty much went homeless, even though her family was there to support her. She said that her family was pretty affluent, and they were gaslighting her and doing all sorts of things. And when she was able to escape and find a similar health practitioner like myself, intuitive energy healer, they were able to see that she had metals and her body was very magnetized. So when they placed magnets on her body, it stuck to her. So what is a targeted individual and what is targeting from a psychic's perspective? From the internet perspective is that these people are mind controlled. They're going through covert, silent energy torture through something like psychotronic weapons or EMF wave type of weapons. And these are types of waves that they're like scalar waves, and they go through, they penetrate the walls, and they do things that to kind of mess with your mind, and they do things to kind of distort, and they mimic a lot of mental illness. So people that supposedly go through these targetings have fried nerves, see blue lights and spots of blue lights, and they're actually targeted for death. Now, what are targeted individual as a psychic perspective of it? For example, it gets into something very serious right now. A lot of people are trying to understand what is it. So far, they've settled with this one agreement that it's the government that's doing it to them, but it's happening on such a massive global scale. I even have a guy that reached out to me from South America, and he reached out to me, and he's seeking help and all that. And I had to refer him to someone called Misha Johnston. She was on Miles Johnston's page, and she talks about things like super soldiers. She talks about things like alien abductee, and she actually runs a support groups for people who actually go through all of that. Hopefully what I'm talking about isn't something that scares you, and if you find this video is for you, and these content isn't something that intimidate or scare you. These are actual contents that you're wanting to be educated on and wanting to know from various perspective. And I'm going to actually dive right in on how I see targeting and targeted individual cases as, and how it comes to me as a psychic, and how other psychic that have perceived people that are targeted, how they're actually seen and looked at when they're going through their targeting. Okay, so let's dive right in. So when you are a targeted individual, you have been handpicked and selective to go through a program. And that program is actually meant to deteriorate you. This program is actually under a mass mind control program. I know that sounds crazy, but that's literally what it is. If you followed my other vlogs, I've talked about my psychic awakening. I've talked about how I was used as a psychic asset for extraterrestrial groups. I even talked about channeling Egypt and how humanity was brought over from a different planetary system and Earth was colonized. If you watch Ancient Aliens, there's even evidence on that. It's not that I'm taking from that, so just go back and watch my other vlogs so that you can get more familiarized with my content if it seems too crazy. But I do want to list to you the programs that a lot of targeted individuals are in. This program is a part of a mass mind control program. When I mentioned in my previous blog about my psychic channeling in Egypt, Egypt and the Orion alien system does have an advanced form of mind control. They use religion as a tactic of mind control. They use religion. They use finance. They use money and finance. Hence, the thumbnail that I chose was the pyramid and the monetary system that was created by them. So we actually put so much value in the dollar, in the monetary system, when in reality what we should find valuable is the direct resources on how we actually get resources and food. But this is a system that is very alien and archonic. It's a system that doesn't really support the organic human, but it supports a more alien system. And the aliens have been here for so long, and we've been living under their influence for thousands and thousands of years that it seems so normal that they're here. We're living under that. We aren't even aware of it. In ancient Egypt, when the people were brought over as slaves, they saw themselves as worker with salaries and monies. But the reality, these people have no full autonomy, no full control. When you have full autonomy and full control, you set the directions of your own life. You really aren't, like the monetary system is such a powerful thing that when World War II was started, it put countries in debt, and it makes you wonder how these countries borrow from the banks to fund their wars. Are they borrowed through, who's giving this out? You kind of have to go further into the monetary system, and there's various resources out there. There's people like a whistleblower, former banking person, Karen Hudes, who even dive further into the species called Homo capensis, which are really the Illuminatis and the bloodline of that extraterrestrial race. So the secret government is pretty much these groups that are very intertwined with humanity, and I want you to kind of feel how intertwined with humanity to the point that you see them as regular humans, because they walk around looking like regular humans. And a lot of the targets that go through gang stalking, that goes through whatever, they're actually going through these organized group, these Masonic groups that come after them, and then the higher ups there that are actually hybrids and the aliens and all that. And I know that sounds crazy, but when the truth comes out, and eventually it's gonna come out, you're gonna find out that you've been among extraterrestrial all this time, and people like myself would have to kind of be like, hey, I told you so. So okay, let's dive right into how you were put in this program, and we can dive right into the tactics that they used, and we could dive straight into how I am able to psychically pick this up, and other psychics around me have even picked up on these groups. So it's kind of funny how other psychics around me were able to pick up on these groups. They look human. You can actually see them. I could actually see them, and when I see how they operate as a military-like group, I could also see their internal thoughts, and as this hierarchical group that they are a part of, that when they hit their targets. Okay, first is the technology that they use. And this is an alien extraterrestrial technology, because believe it or not, surprise, surprise, there are extraterrestrial working alongside humans in such facility as Brookhaven National Laboratory that has also partnered with DARPA, which is Defense Against the Defense Against the R represents something. Defense Against the whatever department, which is the U.S. department that funds scientific research for the military to strengthen national security, blah, 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 blah. So they actually work in these facilities as scientists, as college professors, and all that. Not all of them are bad. Just they're very human. There's good humans and bad humans, and not a lot of them agree with what is going on. So there's conflict there. But when I pick up on them, and I pick up on these groups, because when I pick up on them, I could pick up on all the bases on this earth, and I could pick up on all the operations here. So I could actually remote review, and I can actually see everything if I really wanted to look there. But as I'm looking there, there's also other psychics, and I met a group of these psychics on Misha's group, where they can literally try to block me out so that I don't know any more than I should. But sometimes I still break through, and I'm strong enough psychically to actually go in. And I'm still going through these psychic awakenings where my abilities are going to further get enhanced as I get fully activated. But I'm not fully activated yet, but I'm going through that. The other psychics that I have been around is a Cambodian woman who was healing me from a headache, who was able to pick up on them. And this woman does not know a lick of English. She's like this grandmother lady that's trying to heal me through herbal medicine, and I'm also in the healing practice. What she's able to pick up, because this psychotronic weapon is kind of like targeting mass population. So this is a huge effort against humanity, and these weapons are being used against humanity on such a huge scale. That's why there's so many people reporting it through all of the world. They're reporting it. They believe it's their government that's doing it to them, but trust me, governments are not out for the people like that. Of course, there's corrupt politicians, but when it comes to weapons on such a scale, governments aren't actually doing the targetings, but there's like a shadow behind it, which is very extraterrestrial, that is controlling and sending out these global these global tactics. So let's go back to that grandmother woman, because I kind of go off on a tangent. But that grandmother woman, she barely knows English, so the way she was trying to describe their energy technology, because now with the 5G 5G cell towers, with the increased speed, there are people like myself who are very sensitive to that. So I'm almost like a whale with like heightened sonar sensors. And so if anybody's doing technology testing and they're laying out grids for another advance in technology, it's going to hit me pretty hard. So I almost have like these allergies to the EMF waves because of my abilities, and it creates migraines and all that. So they're laying out these networks. The way the woman saw the energy, because it was creating migraine headaches, she was like, what you're going through isn't, and she's a spiritual healer. She's like, what you're going through, you're not possessed or anything like that. I was kind of thinking at this point that I was possessed by demons, and my mom coming from a Laotian background where we're all about shamanistic healing and the spiritual world and all that. She thought I was possessed. But this woman who was legitimately psychic confirmed, and she's like a shaman, in our community, she worked that way, and she's like, no, this is not a possession. She's like, what I'm psychically seeing, this other psychic woman is saying, is that this energy, when you started your headaches, it came into your ear like as a microwave, and it's sent through space, and as it comes into your ear, this energy wave integrates with your central nervous system, and that's how it inflicts you on such a mass level. But it comes into your ears, and it circles around the head, and then it attaches to that central nervous system of yours, and that's where you're getting fried. Okay, so that's how that weapon works. Now the group itself that is doing this to you, I picked up on them as well, because when I pick up on them, I can actually pick up on them as a group that's kind of separate from the human collective group. It's almost like when I pick up also when people are sharing the same religion, sharing the same brainwashing, they go into that conscious trap. And so now they're also sharing the same thought belief and thought form of that conscious trap that was created. Religion is, created. Hopefully I don't offend anybody. But this is actually the group that I sense, because they're so military like, and they look so human. They could look like the blonde girl, the blue-eyed girl, house next door. They can be your church member and all that. And they'll be in the most mundane, the most ordinary position ever in your life or in human society, as to not create suspicion. I'm the type of person that where I'm like, I like the crazy people. I like the crazy people who are trying to be like aliens, like Lady Gaga's, and they're being crazy and they're bringing attention to themselves and they want to be unique and they want to be different. I actually like those, because as much as odd as they are, they're not trying so hard to be normal. The ones that are trying so hard to be normal, going to church, being a doctor, being a scientist for the Brookhavens, being a college professor, those are the ones that I don't trust at all. They're not being real, and they're fake. They're faking their humanity, amongst us. So how I pick up on the group, the military group, is that they're so hierarchical that they would betray each other, and they're scared to die. They're scared that they're gonna be like the next person where their own group will come after them. And that's what I picked up from them. And I picked up that within their targeting, in their ranks, within their military, there's backstabbings, there's alliances that are made, and there are people that are not trusting each other, backstabbings, hierarchical control, things like that. And I do pick this up from them as they're harassing all these targets all over the world. And just to make you become aware of this, if you're a targeted individual, be aware that these gang stalking groups, these people that are creating theatricals around you and all that, you know what they are. And you also have to know that within their hierarchy and rank, and they're like a gang group, they will turn on each other very quickly. That's what I picked up. They don't trust each other, and they're very afraid that that the group will turn on them and the group will come after them. And at the same time, they're willing to betray, form alliances, and things like that. So that's what I pick up from them. And they feel very militaristic. It's almost like there's this military branch that's, when I mentioned military aliens and all that, and how some of these people even, this is a psychic and how I'm seeing it. And there have been instances where I was used as a psychic asset, and other psychic that has picked up on them had even asked me, like, there was a black ship that's camouflaged and that flies across this world, targeting all people from like the remote jungles of Brazil, Peru, Laos, Cambodia, and they're going around looking for people that have these abilities, and these abilities are not unique. These abilities are, when you take the modern aspect out, these like shamans, paganism, and all that natural stuff that humans are a part of, that's very natural. With modern time, we're kind of like, oh, like you guys are being superstitious and you guys got to use logics and science, and that's such an alien way of thinking, because the alien don't have aspect to human spirituality and they wouldn't understand it. So the old pagans, the old energy medicine man, the herbalist, the witch from back then, that was just a healer, and and you know how the religion that they controlled came after a witch so strongly was because of that. Okay, I hope you liked that video. I'm not gonna go any further because I don't want this video to run longer than it has to. But, I kind of want to get into being a YouTuber now. So if there's any particular contents that you want me to discuss on, you kind of want a psychic perspective on, message me, put a comment of what you're wanting me to produce contents on. I was thinking about creating more like product reviews. And I was thinking about actually creating things like, makeup reviews, mukbangs. And then I wanted to come up with this fun little series called Solving Murder Cases or Cold Cases with Olive and the FBI. So I'm going to go through some FBI files and I'm gonna release those videos to kind of give some detailed information. And if you're like an FBI agent or you have some intel, missing person, things like that you want me to look into, even send me some weird paranormal stuff. I'm willing to examine some of those. Also, go on to my holistic website, because I do promote holistic health, natural way of healing, and that's going to be on my website, www.minddesignClub.org. I talk about herbs, medicine, and intuitive energy healings. If you like this video, subscribe, like the video. If you have any content idea you want me to discuss, go ahead and hit that. Other than that, see you in the next video, where I may talk about energies in terms of psychic connections and relationships and things like that you may want to tune in. And if you want more further contents about targeted individual and how to survive a targeting if you are a targeted individual, I could do a part 2 of this video, because I don't want this video to get too long. So see you in the next video. Bye.